Welcome, Cobra football fans. I'll tell you what, it is great to be back in the confines of Cobra Field, where the Cobras are set to take on the undefeated Tidehaven Tigers. I'm Will LaRue. He's Lee Lewis. That's Rob Bargerbrook, and welcome to the Cobra Sports Network pregame show, homecoming edition.
Yeah, Will, it's been a great week as we've seen an abundance of moms. Young ladies of the Royal Homecoming Court are glamorously dressed tonight, and even the young men did their part, put on a clean shirt, comb their hair, looking right tonight. The stands are starting to fill up here as everyone is anxiously awaiting to hear the announcement of this year's homecoming king and queen, and we will bring you that live tonight. But right now, we're under a short weather delay as lightning is in the area, so people still kind of filtering in as we're going to get a little bit of a late start today.
Well, the lightning delay might allow us to give a little bit more information out this week, But homecoming is a great high school tradition. Everyone gets into it. It makes for wonderful memories that last a lifetime. The Cobra coaching staff knows there are a lot of distractions when it comes to homecoming week, and usually a lesser skilled team is scheduled to try and ensure a victory. Well, that is not the case tonight. Tidehaven is coming in undefeated and very capable and willing to wreck the Cobra's homecoming festivities, guys.
No, they sure are, Rob, but tonight the Cobras, they end up playing host to the Tidehaven Tigers, who are 3-0. And not only are they 3-0, they have scored 140 points in the 3 games. And get this, guys, they have not allowed a single point in any 3 of those games. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Now, all 3 games the Tigers have played this season have been shutouts.
Man, that is impressive. Well, that shutouts are impressive, Will, but I'm not sure they've really been tested yet. Tigers, are they all they cracked up to be? I don't know. Do they deserve that number 2 state ranking and that 18-point favorite? I don't think so. And tonight, I think the Cobras are ready to show everybody why they don't agree with that either.
Well, the Cobras definitely have their sights on ending that streak tonight, guys, especially here in Cobra Field. And the Cobras will have to do it without breakout athlete Colton McMullen, who is still out and newly added to the injury list this week is 3-year starter defensive lineman Clayton Roundtree. And if I remember from last year, Roundtree was the guy who put the brakes on Dodds and took him out of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be a big loss tonight.
And as of right now, Brady Cope is questionable. So we will see what happens come game time. But there is a bright side. And that bright side is William Ledwick and Coben Snyder are back on the O-line.
Yeah, it's going to be great to have those 2 back. They've been missed big time.
They sure
have. Talking about Brady Cope, I did not know it till tonight, guys. Y'all filled me in. He is questionable because he got kicked by a bull this week, and that is just a fantastic story of what these guys are down here, the life we live, school we go to.
Well, if you're going to be missing a week, then I guess that's a good excuse.
That's a good excuse.
But anyway, that's this game tonight. We'll get into that a whole lot more later, especially having William and Coben back, because they're going to be a huge help tonight for the Cobras with the defensive line that the Tigers are bringing into here tonight. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. But the Cobras, let's talk about those guys. They're coming off a huge high winning their 2nd game of the season against Bowling last week. And just like last season, it was a dogfight till the very end. And you want to know how that game turned out? You're going to have to tune in to the Cobra Sports Weekly Update on YouTube. There you're going to find last week's action on what the Cobras or the Rattlers did. Each week, the CSN team brings you the Cobra and Rattler Sports updates and highlights from the previous week. So sit down with the coach. We also sit down with the coach, and we get to see what they're doing and what's going on in their sport, too.
That's right. And that's not all, Will. We also have the distinct honor of presenting the Clark Constructors Top Performance Coin to the varsity athlete chosen by their coaches that week for going above and beyond in competition and practice. And, of course, we've got the Snake Pit games each week. The CSN team dreams up creative ways to get these student athletes involved in a fun competition where they get the ultimate prize, bragging rights.
Yeah, they sure do. So check on the Cobra Sports Weekly Update each Wednesday night. It's not loaded by 9 p.m. It's the internet's fault. So, yeah, that's the internet's fault. But you can always check it on Thursday morning. All shows remain posted, so you can go back and watch at any time the Cobra Sports Weekly Update, where your favorite Cobra or Rattler is the star.
And of course, in addition to that show, we've got the Cobra Sports Network. We also have a fun show we do separately that's called X's and O's, and that's a separate segment where we sit down each week with either Coach Narron or Coach Fellers, and we discuss what to expect on Friday night. And the X's and O's segment as we take a look at the film, dive into some tape, and talk a little football with the head coach and the defensive coordinator as they give us a preview of the week's opponent.
Yeah, so that's the Cobra Sports Network, guys. So make sure you go check that out every week. We're going to take a quick break, thanks some sponsors. But when we return, we're going to review the history between these two programs, introduce you to tonight's opponent, and Rob's going to catch you up on your Cobra football season stats. So don't go anywhere. You're watching Cobra Football, the Cobra Sports Network. Okay, now I'll do that. Don't do it more, because that was bad feedback on the backside. Go ahead.
What happened?
Wait, he called in, and I don't know what happened. That was a bad. You got it now? No, you're not.
I hear it.
Yeah, I hear it.
We're not muted.
Chase.
We're not muted.
Yeah, we are.
Huh?
Yeah. It should be.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a weather delay because of lightning strikes in the area. Please be advised that it
Maybe I need
is
to
strongly
unplug that.
suggested that you not be seated in the bleachers.
This?
There is plenty of space
To the audio.
under the
Why would you
bleachers
unplug that?
for you to take
Because
shelter.
I don't know
And
if the
we will keep
Bluetooth is
you
connected to it or not.
notified and up to date as soon as we are clear on
I didn't
the
hear it on
timing
here.
of this evening's festivities and the ball game. Once again, we're in a lightning delay. It appears the storm is moving on, but it's strongly suggested that
Bethany
you not
family.
be in the bleachers or
The Bethany
on the field.
family.
We'll keep you posted.
We're going live.
Welcome back, Cobra fans. So, Lee, let's talk about the history between these two programs right here. The Cobras and Tigers are no strangers on the football field. In fact, these two teams were district opponents from 04 to 09, and they played every year until 2013, with the Cobras compiling an impressive 8-2 record versus Tidehaven in that time span. Last year, the Cobras went to El Maton and beat the Tigers 42-22. So now the Cobras have that commanding lead of 11-2 all-time record since 2004. This season, the Tigers have already dismantled two of the Cobras' district rivals, beating Goliath 30-0 and Palacios last week 56-0.
Yeah, and that beating of Goliath 30-0, that was huge. Because we know Goliath's gonna have a pretty strong team this year. So looking at those opponent analysis, the Tigers are led by head coach and Tidehaven alumni David Lucio, who is in his 8th season as the AD and head coach with Tidehaven.
This is not
In that time, Coach Lucio has amassed a record of 55-27. He's qualified for the playoffs in every single season he's coached in. Last season, the Tigers went undefeated in District 14, claimed the crown for the 19th time in school history. They eventually lost in the 4th round, but they lost to Pope, who was the eventual state finalist, and they lost in a very close game, 12-6. So you know that was a strong team that only the state finalists took down. That's the second year in a row, too, that the Pope Pirates have eliminated the Tigers in the playoffs.
Well, the Bulldogs returned 7 starters on offense, including Baylor commit Joseph Dodds. Dodds is 6'1", 205-pound running back that runs a 4.40. He's going to be a big test for the Cobras tonight. The Tigers are also returning their big defensive end Justin Griffith, who is 6'3", 220, and the signal caller is returning starter Cale Russell, who cut his teeth on varsity as a freshman last season. He is in his 2nd year running the Tiger offense, and he brings his big target, Mr. Duran, around 6'3", 220 pounds as well. He will be a big target for Duran and a big body to help block for Dodge tonight.
Yeah, they bring him in all kind of different situations. So let's talk about the offensive side of the Tigers. This season, the Tigers are averaging 48 points a game. They're going to run 65% of the time, using Dodds a lot out of the backfield. And they are a big playmaking team. So they're going to run the spread to ensure that all of their athletes can get out in space and move around. The Tigers' offensive scheme is designed around getting their talented skill players in the open and downfield in space. And they have an accurate quarterback in sophomore, number 14, Cale Russell. And we already know all about the skill level the running back, number 5, Joseph Dodds has. But Russell isn't the only QB, though, guys. Jason Duran, number 2, he stands 6'3", is 225 pounds, and he can run a 4.7. They will bring him in short yardage and goal line situations in either to run the football or to block for Dodds. And the Cobras will have their hands full with that package. So it's best that Coach Feathers leads the Cobra D to stay out of short yardage situations tonight.
Yeah, and on defense, let's talk about the Tigers there. Same story, they're pretty good, Will. It doesn't matter that they haven't really been tested yet. They have 3 shutouts in a row, and that says something. about the discipline and the coaching style of defensive coordinator Bobby Gonzalez. The Tigers show multiple looks on defense, and that has really benefited them because it's hard to call plays when the defense is constantly changing. They'll run 3 different types of defense, whichever situation calls for, but they primarily come in a 3-4. But they will switch up to a 4-2, and sometimes they'll only bring in 2 down linemen with the rest standing up. It usually happens on long down and distance plays. Tigers coach Gonzalez will walk sophomore linebacker number 6 Bryce Silva up to the line to overload the box and cause some confusion on blocking assignments as well.
Yeah, and that's the key to tonight. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, is trying to take advantage of that young sophomore there at the linebacker position. But Rob,
Yeah.
hey, I'm tired of talking about the Tigers, man.
Me
Let's go
too,
ahead.
me
Let's
too.
talk about these
Me too.
Cobras. How are they doing this season?
The Cobras are doing pretty good. After 3 weeks, your Cobras are averaging 371 total offensive yards per game, with 714 of it on the ground and 400 through the air. Garza is 47 of 67 for 397 yards, averaging 8.5 yards per completion, and a 70% completion rate. He continues to spread the ball around with junior Nick Kuchar. He leads the team with 108 total receiving yards and a touchdown. Senior tight end and the commander, Kay Quebec, is in a close second with 10 receptions and 81 yards on the season.
Yeah, and Rob, Nick Kuchler's not only leading the team with 108 yards, he's leading the area leaders, even the Victoria Advocate at the top of the receiving board for most receptions this year with 17 total. So
Wow, that's impressive. That is impressive. On the ground, Garza is leading the Cobras with 402 yards on 49 carries with 8 touchdowns. The Cowboy had a big game last week and padded his stats with a total of 237 yards on 31 carries and 2 scores. The Big Gun has 84 yards on 17 carries.
Yeah, you know, Rob, we need to take a closer look at that too. The running game sounds like it's been effective. With those stats, Garza and Martin are averaging 8 yards a carry, and LaRue's averaging 5 yards per carry. So I can do math too, Lee, by the way.
Yeah, you can. A plus, bro.
Yeah,
A
thank
plus.
you. So in all seriousness, though, that sounds like a recipe for success to me. One thing we don't factor in is that jet sweep where the Cobras toss the ball forward to the slot receiver coming across the formation. That play goes down as a pass. I know I'm not the only one that thinks those stats should go towards the run game too. I think, yeah, it really should. And I think Coach Nairn has a group of runners that can grind it out, and I'm almost positive we will hear about it later in the show as the key to the game. But I digress, Rob. Keep on going with the Cobra stats. How are the special teams and defense going?
Special team Warren perfect again last week, as he is 7 of 8 on the season.
What about on the defense side, Rob?
Well, the Cobras gave up 163 yards rushing and 151 yards passing. Senior linebacker Bo Bethany is leading. Senior Bo Bethany is leading the Cobras with 19 solo tackles and 12 assists. Sam Kurtz, Brady Cope, and Zach Villarreal all have 14 solo tackles. Defensive tackle Dylan Rierick is leading the team with 6 tackles for a loss and 8 pressures, followed by Cullen Dyson with 5 tackles for loss. Both Cullen and Rierick recorded sacks last week. In the secondary, sophomore Zach Villarreal has the most pass breakups with 3, and the lone interception on the team belongs to the defensive lineman, the disruptor, Dylan Rierick.
You know, I think I kind of remember that interception. Kind of came at a key point in the game. If I recall.
Key point in the game.
All right, well, that's the stats. We're going to take a brief break for a minute as we come back to go through the notorious Tale of the Tape.
Tape.
Welcome back, Cobra football fans. As we continue the pregame show, we're going to take care of the notorious tail of the tape. We'll get it started, brother.
Yeah, I guess I'm starting it off tonight. So, tail of the tape. The Tigers have a great running back in Dodds, so the Cobras are going to have to come out tonight and contain Dodds and control the line of scrimmage. Dodds loves to get in space, and when he does, he is damaging. The majority of his yards this season are around the edge, and most of it is from creating chaos in space. We talked about that a little bit earlier. They want to get those athletes out in space. So it's going to be imperative tonight that the commander, Cade Quebeca, and Sam linebacker, Sam Kurtz, stay physical on the edge and force Dodds to cut back into the middle where they have help from Bo Bethany. And if Brady Cope is not playing tonight, Logan Densman is perfectly capable of stepping up and making those plays.
Well, looking at the tail of the tape, matching these two teams up, well, the Cobras are going to win up front. They are bigger, they're more physical than the Tiger line, but the Tigers do have a few exceptions in their two outside backers, Duran and Griffin. William Ledwig has just returned just in time as he's going to be working against senior defensive end number 44, Justin Griffin. Ledwig has Griffin beat in size, but Griffin is quick. Tonight, Ashton will need to read where Willie takes 44 on those RPOs. And I would also think that Coach Nairn is going to elect to go with not a corn dog to deal with those extra big bodies on the edge.
The Cobras have struggled with the rear route in every game this season, and we saw it last night in the sub-varsity games also. Zach Villarreal will have to be disciplined tonight and focus on the slot receivers and backs, trying to sneak up the sideline for big plays.
So that's the comparison in the tail of the tape. Let's talk about what it's going to take to win this thing as we look at the keys of the game. Rob, get us started.
All right, keys to the game.
Can we just delete that from the internet and just start it again?
No, you're live now. Go ahead.
What?
You're live on the same one. Go ahead.
Oh, we are?
Yes.
Nice. We're back to keys of the game.
Back
How
to
do we do
keys
that?
of the game. The litter box.
They're telling you, this has been
The
nothing.
Cobras.
Hang on, Rob. Hang on. We just hang on a
Just on
second.
the mic.
Yeah.
We have a Ben Casper.
Yeah. So we have just completely, we have run into nothing but problems. It has been one heck of a day.
Gosh dang it. We're going to fix this mojo right now, boys.
It's because you changed your shirt.
You're going to fix it. You're going to fix
Tell
it.
them we're gonna do it one more time. You plug it in.
Uh-huh.
Plug it in and let me throw it up. We're gonna lose it again when I plug it in, but I want to restart it with it plugged in.
I don't understand. Are we live?
We are, but we're gonna do it again.
No. It turned off because I hit that button. That's what happened. No, plug it in. Don't hit the button. All right. We're live, and it is what it is.
This is live TV.
Oh my goodness.
I hope y'all are enjoying this at the.
Where's
shack
Wes's
at the
camera?
ball game.
Yeah, no kidding. It is what it is.
This is the last time we broadcast live from the shack, guys.
Oh my goodness! If anything can go wrong, it's going wrong. I'm telling you. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let's start over.
All right, hey, we're gonna go to the keys of the
We're
game.
going keys of the game. Let's go.
Keys to the game.
No, hold on. We're gonna go to the keys of the game.
All right, keys to the game. What do we got, Rob? You got it first.
First one is litter box. The Cobras must keep the Dobbs and Russell show in the litter box between the tackles. It will be key for the outside linebackers to force the Tigers to stay in the litter box where there's little room to move and their feet get bogged down in the litter. Keep the litter box full and the Cobras will stink up the Tidehaven offense tonight.
There you go. All right, second key to the game. A good O is a good D. They got to keep these Tiger playmakers on the sideline. Best defense is what the Cobras can provide tonight. Keep those long, sustained drives going. Finish with points. That's the key. Push that Tiger offense to the sideline and don't let them have the ball. We already addressed the run game the Cobras have executed this season. Cobras want to be successful. They must be good on offense tonight, working that clock, limiting the Tigers' offense possessions, keeping those playmakers on the field where that 4-4 is neutralized. Force them into trying to win the game with big plays in a hurry up.
All right, so that's those two. Now the last one. No Tiger pouncing. In every game this season, the Cobras have spotted their opponent at least 14 points before scoring themselves. That cannot happen tonight, guys. The Cobras cannot afford to play catch up with the Tigers. So, how do they do that? They have to come out strong. They have to come out fast. They have to get the ground game established and hit the pop passes when the Tigers start to pounce on that run game of the Cobras. But they cannot let the Tigers pounce on them early, because if they do, it will be a long night. If I'm coaching Aaron tonight, I hope to win the toss at the coin toss because I want the ball.
Give me the ball.
Give me the
I
ball.
love
There
it.
you go.
Give me the ball. That's
Give me the
right.
ball.
Well, that's it. That's how you win this game. And I guarantee you the shutout streak for the Tigers ends tonight. We're going to take a brief break. When we return, we may not have kickoff just yet. We are still in a rain delay. But we're going to be here to bring it to you whenever it gets rolling.
Yeah, so if there is a bit of a delay, we just saw lightning pop again, so it may be another delay. You know what we ought to do? We ought to just scrap this entire broadcast and start all over again. What do you guys
Start
think?
fresh.
He's advocating for the mulligan.
He wants
A
the
broadcast mulligan.
Broadcast
It's-
mulligan. It's come to fruition.
We finally won him over.
Oh my goodness, you guys are too much. No, what we need to do, real quick though, let's take a break and we'll come back because we got something else we got to cover. You're watching the Cobra messed up pregame show.
On the
This
Cobra
is a true
Sports
dink and
Network.
dunk show on the Cobra Sports Network.
At Capital Farm Credit, our cooperative returns are a symbol of our strong partnership with you.
So one of the unique things about Capital Farm Credit is the cooperative nature of it. And then when you get that patronage check once a year, we put that money right back into the land.
Together, we're better.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Commitment to community service. It's a mission the First State Bank employees have lived by for more than 60 years. By continuously volunteering, sponsoring school fundraisers, and engaging in community projects, the First State Bank not only lives its mission, it lives up to its motto, friendliest bank anywhere. So call, stop in, or visit fsblouise.com today and get to know the friendly bankers who are making a positive impact in your community. Eat 'em up, snakes. The First State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back, Cobra fans. Will LaRue alongside Lee Lewis and Rob Bargerbrook here in the booth with me. Also hiding out in the booth is Wes Unger. He is here tonight, and we're going to get you some nice sideline view action, especially with the homecoming court as they come off the field, and we'll be able to see, bring y'all live action of when they get picked as well. We'll see when that ends up happening. With the weather delay, I'm wondering if that ends up getting moved to halftime or whatnot. We have not gotten any word on that yet, so we'll find out.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. Chase Charbula's still out there dealing with the weather for us, and Ryan Barnett is doing a great job of not losing his ever-loving mind with everything that I'm changing over here and shutting the iPad off and everything else. So, good job, guys, on y'all's part. But one thing I did want to talk about, guys. So, junior high cheerleaders, right? They have been doing an outstanding job. We've seen them come out and cheer on the kids. We saw them at the pep rally today doing an outstanding job. They're very talented athletes, not only in the volleyball side of things, but cheerleading as well. They were doing some great stuff at the pep rally today, and if y'all didn't get a chance to watch that, it was live on YouTube, so go ahead and go back and check that out. But one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Not only are I know where some of the cheerleaders are actually getting some of their moves from, and we got a video right here to prove that. You can go ahead and play that for us, Ryan. Right here, our very own Lee Lewis is cheering with the junior high. But look at how high he got up there. Hey, I want to see that again real quick.
Let's see if we can play that
one more time.
What is that called, Lee?
That's my straddle jump right there.
Oh, right here.
Whoa! Wow, look at the air.
Height on that.
That
It's
is
higher
impressive.
than your daughter. I mean, that's where she gets. That's where she gets it from.
Hey, it's not as easy as it used to be. It's getting harder every day.
That was pretty impressive, Lee.
Thank y'all.
How were you able to walk?
Lee, you want to watch it one more time, Lee?
Well, they asked me, did you stretch, do anything? I said, no, you just jump and hope at that point. You're getting older, you just jump and hope. Hope for the best.
Look at that. That is fantastic.
He's wearing jeans too. Shirt,
Yeah.
your shirt stayed tucked in also. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, you know, when you got it, you got it.
But have y'all seen Lee's attire tonight?
I did, yes. His
We
hat.
brought out the old school homecoming edition 1960s vintage Cobra hat, and of course, snake boots. Gotta
There
have
we
snake
go.
boots. Boom.
All for good luck tonight,
That's right.
How do you
right.
keep that hat on? It doesn't even have a clap back.
It's seen better days. It's kind of like it's the guy wearing it. It's seen better days, but you know what? It still comes out every now and then.
After the video that I just watched, you're in your prime, sir. Congratulations.
I want to know where y'all got that video. I want to know where y'all got that film.
That's good stuff. All right, well, we got something else. Let's go ahead and talk about. Hey, we got a pick'em thing we got to talk about. We weren't able to do it last week with everything, so let's go ahead and get our weekly pick'ems. See who's leading today. Rob, go ahead and walk us through this.
Well, the overall record, leading overall right now, is Rob the Boss Bargenbrook at 19-5. Coming in second is Lee Osarge Lewis, 18-6. Tied
Nipping
next,
at your heels, buddy. Nipping at the heels.
Tied next, you got Will the Voice LaRue and Ryan, which is now changed to Shady B Barnett.
Why is it Shady B Barnett?
Well, apparently he likes to pick Bloomington, which is outside of the rules and regulations.
Well, Bloomington's in Region 4.
Yeah,
But they're a 32-point favorite.
Oh, come on, Ryan. That's not enough.
Bloomington is never a
Upset
favorite.
pick, the upset pick where you need to pick the underdog. He's picking the 33-point favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying to secure the win.
unbelievable.
Oh, Shady B.
Yeah.
Here, look.
Then you have the young. Oh, there he
There he
is.
is, Shady B.
Next you got Wes Double Nickel Unger at Chase the Young Gun Charbula at 16-8, and Wes Double Nickel Unger at 15-9.
Anchoring the competition.
Last week, you had Will the Voice LaRue at 6-2, Rob the Boss Bargenbrook at 7-1. Did lead the week last week. Lee Osarge Lewis at 6-2, Ryan the new Shady B Barnett at 6-2, and Wes Double Nickel. He was actually double 44.
There you go.
And Chase Young Charbula also at 4-4.
Yeah,
last
young
week.
gun misfired. That's all right.
It happens. It happens. Let's talk about this week's picks. So, it looks like fierce across the board, except Shady B over there. He had some inside information that went with a Ranzis pass.
Wow, that's a bold choice. I say old AP down there. They hadn't shown up in a few years, but he's looking for the turnaround this week.
When you're good, you're good.
There he is.
Edna and Sinton. Everybody pretty much chose Edna on that one.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question there.
No, Sinton just hasn't been what they were last year. They've been losing some games that they should have won. So I'm picking Edna to win, especially on that coming off of that loss that they had to Refugio and the way it was. I think Edna's coming out with some revenge.
A tough one this week, I thought. Looking at who they've played, their record, Goliad and Jordanton. I mean, Jordanton's 3-0. Goliad's 2-1, but I do think Goliad's played a little bit tougher schedule.
Yeah.
Jordanton is ranked in the top 10 though. The last time I checked.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised that I'm the lone lone wolf out there on Goliad.
I almost went there.
I was thinking to say they did take a 30 to nothing shutout against this Tidehaven team, but really other than that, they've looked decent this season. So
Then you got London and Kingsville, which we found out late in the week they were actually playing and they didn't have a bye, and they actually played last night. So everybody that chose London, well, you got a W in the column already.
All right, starting fresh.
all right, our resident Pirate alumni here, the boy from Mathis. Tell us who you picked.
I went with George West. I did. You know what? Hey, my Pirates, they were struggling. They came out. They won 2 for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. 2 for me. It's just like when I'm at the craps tables. Okay. When I'm walking.
You take it and go.
Yeah, I gotta take it and go.
Take it and
I gotta
go.
take it and go. You know, coming from over there, George West, that game was always played extremely hard. I know George West has been struggling a little bit, but I got faith in old Coach Bronson over there. Bronson's gonna go ahead and lead the, I call them Shorthorns.
Shorthorn. Okay.
The Shorthorns to victory over the Pirates.
You do know they're 0-3, Will.
I do,
Okay,
but tonight they're going to be 1-3.
Ron, this is what you call a mutiny. This is when a pirate.
When a pirate
Goes against his crew. It's
he
an official term, a mutiny.
might have to walk the plank.
Yeah, he sure ain't getting to
Okay.
crack Jenny's teacup tonight, I'll tell you that. All right, moving on. Palacios. I mean, is anybody at this point even going to consider Palacios until they show us something? I'm not.
No, I think everybody went Rise Consolidated there. Palacios and Aranda's probably battling it out for the bottom of the district, I would believe. And then Industrial Tidehaven. Everybody went with Industrial, but y'all say we're not supposed to pick on that one. But I gotta keep putting it in there.
Hey, I would have honestly went with them anyway because I think Industrial's got something to prove to come out here tonight and shut everybody up. Coming up against the number 2 ranked team, we've got the Cobras have the tools to do it.
If this was week 1, I'd be questioning it. But so far, we've seen some resilience and some battle from this team. I think they're starting to find their way as a football team.
And this Tidehaven team's very similar to last year. Same running back, same quarterback, and we handled them easily last year. So I kind of agree with you, Will.
Well, granted though, I mean Dodge did go out early last season. We'll see what happens tonight, but as long as we contain him, I think the Cobras have a really good shot.
I do too.
Let's talk about the best category of the night, the upset picks. Everybody gets to look across all across this Region 4.
Let's see
Choose
what the
your favorite.
voice has to say about the big town of Beeville.
I'm telling you what, I'm almost a little bit biased going with Beeville because my old ball coach is over there. His offensive coordinator was actually our ball boy, Eric Souza. Eric Souza was his son. Eric
I bet
did.
you would have picked Mathis.
He
Probably
may
would
have.
have.
He may have. But no, Eric's his offensive coordinator out there, and Eric is an All-American over at UTSA, quarterback there. So I think Eric and Coach Souza, they have done an exceptional job over there because not only that, last week they had the South Texas Player of the Week, their quarterback, Elijah Sustaya. He had 353 yards passing and 4 touchdowns when they played Robstown last week. And this week, they're going to take care of Somerset Bulldogs. Let me tell you a little bit about Somerset Bulldogs too, guys. I went and started looking at them a little bit longer. Y'all remember the name Coy Detmer?
I do.
Oh
Didn't he play
yeah,
at
BYU.
Yeah.
How about Ty Detmer?
Yep.
His
Yes,
brother.
I do.
Another.
Okay, both professional quarterbacks, right? Well, their
Yes, sir.
dad was a longtime AD over at Somerset. So when Coy left the NFL, he went over to Somerset and became the head coach over there. So he's a head coach over there. You got battle of two teams, both 3-0, facing off each other tonight, and I think Beeville takes it. Another cool, crazy thing that I saw with Coach Coy Detmer is that he does not coach from the sidelines.
Coaches from the booth?
He coaches from the booth because he feels he calls a place and he has a better vantage point of being able to see everything from up top. And he says he's got enough people down there on the field that are fully capable of being able to handle the kids and the team, but he feels more comfortable with seeing everything from the booth. So I thought that was a pretty neat perspective on things. But with all of that, go ahead.
And you've seen that at the higher levels. You had, Harbaugh that was injured and sat in the booth and a bunch of other stuff. And, I mean, they've done fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But with all that said, I'm still going with the Trojans, going with the old ball coach. They take it tonight over Somerset.
All right. Well, I went with Gregory Portland over Bernie.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a tight game. Bernie's picked to win, but I'm going with Gregory Portland as kind of coming back rebuilding down there. And for years, I don't know if, I'm sure most of y'all watched a lot of high school football, but for years, if Gregory Portland was on your schedule, you just went ahead and chalked it up as a loss. And I think they're going to get the win against Barney tonight and go 4-0. And Gregory Portland's back.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, I wanted to go with a different pick, and I think Lee was leaning that way too. I wanted to go with Calhoun upsetting Yoakum,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't do it.
I was really close. In fact, I was even contemplating that still down to the wire today, talking to people at the office. I'm very intrigued by that Calhoun-Yoakum game, and I think we might see an upset there, but I couldn't pull the trigger either. I went Llano. The reason is I just like a double L.
Is that all it is?
Lee Lewis, little Llano choice, little double L.
You know, they
can't
beat
ever
us in
go
the
wrong.
playoffs last year, and now you're picking them?
Well, I am picking them more just because I want to pick against the Coleman Blue Cats. I mean, the Coleman Blue Cats should never be a favorite in anything in the world. If you're listening out there in Coleman, I want to tell you right now, y'all suck.
I'm sure they're listening.
There's nothing good about a blue cat. I don't know what a blue cat even is. But just mark it down right now. Everybody's listening. Never a favorite in anything.
I would kind of agree. I mean, what is a blue cat? Do you even know?
Hey, it's a cat.
It should be an underdog.
There you go. There you go.
So right now we're gonna just take them off the list.
Well,
I
I got to hear this next pick on Ryan. Someone's got to get a mic down to him on how somebody that's a 32-point favorite is an upset pick.
I didn't look at anything. I didn't know who the favorites were. I had no clue. I just picked them. Bloomington's never a favorite. For all I knew, they were playing Refugio today. I had no idea. None whatsoever. What'd you text me at 1 o'clock? And I'm in the middle of Lowe's, and I'm like, okay, yeah, just pick Bloomington. Sounds good.
That's the kind of dedicated research this team puts into y'all each and every week, folks. I want y'all to know.
Yeah, we got West Double Nickel Unger, who's trying to dig out of a hole,
Oh.
and he went with Gunter.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, these two teams, Gunner and Brock, they're both constantly in the late playoffs, constantly in state games, left and right. I know it's going to be a beat down on the field. I'm not sure of the point spread, but Brock is a favorite.
Yeah, they were.
And so I think Gunner got some. How am I going to say this? They got some corn dog in them, and they're going to go out there and upset Brock.
Well, and the boys from Brock haven't dyed their hair that god-awful blonde fake color yet.
God-awful blonde.
And so until they do that, really, they don't have their mojo.
Yeah, they ain't got the mojo. And their coach, for their state champion coach, obviously went to El Campo a couple years ago, but it didn't slow them down under a new coach. They're still fired off the following year with the brand new coach. But I think Gunner's going to come out on top on this week.
All right.
All right. Next up, we have Chase, the young gun, Charbula, and he went with Llano as well. I wonder if it stands for the same reason that you went with Llano, Lee Lewis.
Let's find out.
Well, I chose Llano because I couldn't choose Blanco.
Okay. There we
Blanco
go.
was voted to win.
Is it because Blanco only has one L?
You like double L's too.
It is what it is.
No, it's because Dixon is my favorite AD. He was the AD while I was in high school. So,
Yeah.
Well, I've picked
There you go.
Blanco, I think, twice already this year, and both times they did not get it done for me. The one week I didn't pick them was the very first week, and that was the week they did have an upset
They
victory.
went.
So at this point, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done with Blanco.
Yeah, kind of like Lee. I mean, kind of like Will on the dice. You're pulling your money from Blanco.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm going. Well, that's our picks for the week. We'll see what ends up happening. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, because we don't know what's going on, we need to go ahead and introduce the top performers of last week's varsity sports. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to introduce you to those folks. You're watching Cobra Football on the Cobra Sports Network. back. Did you bring the top performers? Oh, welcome back, Cobra football fans. Will LaRue, alongside Lee Lewis, Rob Bargerbrook. You got Wes Unger here as well. Chase Charbula down there, bringing you all the best camera angles in high school football. And of course, Ryan Barnett, production manager over here.
Shady B.
Shady B. Shady B. All right.
We have the beats. Our beats.
Well, folks, we did find out that homecoming is going to go on as planned at the beginning of the game. As long as they can fit it in, that's what they want to go with. But we still haven't gotten for sure word yet. That is just basically what they're telling us at the moment. So we're waiting on that. We're still in a weather delay. But on Wednesday night, we got to introduce the top performers of last week's varsity event. So this week, well, let's go ahead and take a little bit of time right now to go ahead and talk about some of those folks that did, those kids that did extremely well last week. Let's start with Brady Cope on defense. Brady Cope led the Cobra defense with 5 solo tackles, 4 assists, 1 caused fumble, and a pressure that limited Bowling's offense to only 189 yards total. He played tough in the trenches in that old school smash mouth football game. That's Brady Cope, your other linebacker. So that's the second linebacker to get a top performer point this season already. Bo Bethany was the first one.
Well, you know he's tough. I mean, he can certainly handle the Bulldog if he can handle the Bull.
He sure can.
He handled the Bulldogs and the Bull last week.
Yeah, he did.
We could really use him out here to handle one of these Tigers.
Next up, we have Cooper Martin. Tell us how he did.
Cooper, of course, you know, we knew this was going to happen sometime this season. The Cowboy, it was his night last week, 143 yards rushing, a couple receptions, scored 26 points, and obviously, you know, a big contributor on the offensive side. Coach gave us his quote, said his hard running helped them get momentum in the second quarter, and then they maintained through the rest of the game. And anybody that saw that game knows that is a very accurate statement. Of course, Will, you alluded to it in the pregame. We spotted them 14 points for the second week in a row. Things were not going our direction at that point. Cowboy starts coming out, sustaining some drives, big runs, got that momentum swinging back to the Cobra side, and kind of ignited this team as they played pretty solid through those last 3 quarters. Got that win.
Yeah, with him and Ashton both going over 100 yards. Ashton going over 100 yards for his second week in a row on the ground. Hey, like we talked about in the pregame, Lee, we have a really good running offense, and guys, we run a spread.
Exactly.
And we're running the football like that. It's pretty impressive, and Cowboys always run really hard. Next up on the volleyball side, Desiree Evans. She is a middle blocker and she is a junior. Desiree is a joy to coach, is what Coach Dunn told us. She's constantly working to better herself. She's been working really hard on the faster tempo that they're trying to move quicker throughout the volleyball program, is what Coach Dunn was telling us. And then last Friday, it finally paid off. She posted 6 kills and a 200 hitting percentage, along with an ace and 3 blocks. And they're excited to see how she continues to grow. She's just a heck of an athlete.
Well, I sat down and watched those broadcasts the other night on Wednesday, and you went in some depth there, Lee, about the 200 hitting, and it's kind of like a batting average, and so basically she's above 100%. Is that what that means, or?
Yeah, basically they take their kills and they divide it by the number of attempts, but before they give you credit for a kill, they'll actually deduct anything that it was a miss hit, either over the out of bounds line, into the net, or into the block.
Right.
So whereas in baseball you get credit for every hit you got.
Right.
Here these girls don't. Yeah.
So in baseball, this would be like a 400.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha.
So hitting efficiencies, when you see those numbers up that high, that means that athlete's performing extremely well.
Wow.
They can actually get into negative.
I learned something from watching y'all show on Wednesday night.
Hey, we're education.
That's right.
That's all we are. We are education.
Classic partner.
Who do we have for cross country?
Carly Burrow, and she joined us on the show this week. It was fun to visit with her about how these different cross country races develop and what they're doing. But this week she had a great showing. She placed 15th overall at the Moulton meet. Coach said she was a huge difference maker because her individual performance allowed that varsity girls team to again medal last week. And really, she's a hard worker, very valuable runner for the Cobra team. But last week, there was, I think you said 33 teams from 3A to 6A. So huge meet in Moulton. And the individual performances we're seeing out of these runners, where we have multiple medalists, it is what gives that overall team score and allows the Cobras to medal as a team against these huge 6A schools. And so Carly Burr, big contributor this week, as she is your individual top performer.
Now, congratulations to all and each and every one of them and what they're doing in the classroom and on the field. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, no, they're doing a fantastic job. And you know, one thing too is every student that I've handed one of these coins to, so thanks to Clark Constructors for purchasing those for us. These kids are really enjoying them, but every one of them have taken it. After we take the picture, they hand it back to me because they don't realize it's theirs. You know, like, that's yours. You get to
because
keep
they're
that.
so nice.
Yes.
I mean, they look beautiful in person. They're heavy,
Yeah.
and it's really a cool memento that they'll be able to keep for their entire life.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something. You're right, and then to be able to pass down, and continue to hold on to that memory is going to be there forever.
Yeah, you never know. A fun story. One of our former industrial board of trustee members, a board member here for years, actually went to Refugio. When he was in high school, one of the referees flipped him the coin from the coin toss, told him, "You played a heck of a game, kid. Here it is." At the end of the game, he has that installed right over here behind the cotton gin. He laid it in a hardwood table, poured the laminate over it, and that is still his coffee table today. So you never know where these things are going to end up in 20, 30 years.
No, you're right, and that's exactly correct. So we'll see how many these kids are going to be able to accumulate over the season. But just to give the folks at home just a little bit of an example of what we got, this is the coin here, okay? And you know, compared to the palm of my hand, it's basically the same thing, same size of my palm there. And it says Industrial Cobras Top Performer, the nice Cobra logo. And on the back side, our good sponsors, good friends over there at Clark Constructors. So we appreciate that. The kids really enjoyed it.
I wish we had a chance to win one. I wish the broadcast team awarded one, but we've got a Rob's MVP medal. That's all we're playing for, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll see what we can find out when we get back as to when the game's going to start and whatnot. So you're watching Cobra Football on the Cobra Sports Network.
People know what we're talking about.
Welcome back, Cobra football fans. Will LaRue alongside Lee Lewis. Rob Bargenbrook here. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize Wes is on the camera over the other side again.
Well,
either way, Lee, you did go and talk to Miss Anderson. What did she say?
Yeah, we got an update. They did have a lightning strike just here a little while ago, so they're definitely not going to get underway until at least 8 o'clock. The lightning strike they just had is about 4 miles away. So we're hoping that may be the last one. We don't know, but at least 8 o'clock right now. And Miss Nairn, the high school principal, did say if they can get the homecoming court and festivities done pregame, they are shooting to do that. They still want to, but if they just can't because the game has been delayed so long, then they will do it at halftime. So right now we're all just kind of waiting and seeing.
That's right, wait and see.
Well, Rob talked a little bit of something about the corn dog, right? Y'all hear us talk about the corn dog quite often, but you may not know what the corn dog is.
The corn dog
I will be honest. Before this season, I had never heard of a corn dog offense in football.
No.
So it's not something you probably have heard of in your life.
You're right, but before this season, I don't think anybody had heard
It's
of
because
the
it
corn dog
did not
offense.
exist.
Yeah, it is strictly to industrial only.
Correct.
And what happened was Coach Nairn was trying to find another way to add additional playmakers, and that's something to say about the type of team that Coach Nairn has.
And the kids.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about, the kids, as far as the athletes go, that you're trying to find ways to involve everybody. And so that speaks a lot about them, and Coach Nairn also to try to his imagination to try to find that. And so what they did was they decided to take all 3 of the players that play the seat position. The seat position is utilized as that sniffer back, half back, may line up as a wing back from time to time, come in as a tight end with the hand down, or they're a slot receiver, or they also get back and line up next to Ashton usually on his right side. In that T formation when they're in shotgun. So that position is utilized quite a bit, but it's typically a bigger guy that can go block and can also catch the ball. So the starter obviously is Kate Quebeca, and then we have Landon Wolfsville, the other sixth senior that's out there that comes in and plays that position. And Major LaRue also works that position as well as a J. And so what Coach Nairn did was he brought all 3 of those guys in and put them into the offense in different positions. So Cade was in all 3 of those positions. Cade was down as a tight end, Major lines up as that sniffer back, and then Landon lines up as the slot receiver. And so you got all 3 C's in there. And so Coach Nairn was trying to find a way to what signal or what should we call this formation. And Garza, just off the top of his head, goes, "Why don't we call it corn dog, Coach?" Let's call it corn dog because all the C positions, and thus the birth of the corn dog offense.
Yeah, and I asked Darren, what would it technically be called? And it's something like rip, sniffer, smoke, like 4 different things.
That's too long.
And that's too long. And so Ashton just short and sweet, corn dog.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I'll tell you, it's worked. I mean, we've seen results out of the corn dog offense. I think they brought it in the second half of week 2. And instantly it kind of flipped that game.
It did.
And Coach Nairn said, that's one of the things you bring it in after halftime so nobody can make adjustments to it. And then since then we've seen it in multiple situations.
Yeah, and it brings in when you're watching the game and those guys are rotating in and out, and they're not in that corn dog formation, but they're rotating in at their normal positions. Honestly, it puts your 3 best outside blockers in the game.
Yeah, and it's shown good results on those edges because we've seen that as well. We've highlighted those in the weekly sports update. So again, if you're missing that, make sure you're looking for that on Thursday morning or late Wednesday night, depends on the internet. But either way, listen to it on your way to work. Help us with those viewing hours. That's a good point too. We need to talk a little bit about that, guys, because we are almost hitting our milestone of 1,500 subscribers. We have crested the 1,400 mark.
Wow.
So thanks to all of y'all that are getting the word out there. We greatly appreciate that. And we are almost to our 4,000 hour viewing mark. We're less than 1,000 hours away. So what happens?
Weather delays helping right now.
If you're out there watching right now, pat yourself on the back. You're you're doing an excellent job for the Cobras.
Yes, absolutely. And just so everyone knows back home that's listening, once we hit that 4,000 mark, that's 4,000 hours, we are going to be able to apply with YouTube to be monetized. And what that means is that we get paid for every view that you guys out there are viewing on this channel. And with that money, it all goes right back to the Booster Club, which in turn is delivered right back to the athletic program. So this is a great way for you to give back, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
Exactly. It just sounds perfect. It really does. It sounds perfect.
Yeah. Right now that we have a watch party going over in LaSalle at the Shack. So everyone toast our successes.
We just got an update on the weather, guys.
Well, put it on here,
We're
8:20.
gonna allow them to warm up
They're
at
gonna come out
8, game at
warm up at
8:20,
8,
so it
and
doesn't
then
look like
kick
we'll
off
have
at 8:20.
homecoming before.
No, it doesn't look like that. And then that's going to be another week in a row with a limited warm up again.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be the eternal optimist here, but you have to think that plays into the Cobras' favor. I mean, they went through that scenario last week. They're accustomed to this. Tidehaven has not seen that yet, and Dodds, probably it may throw off his rhythm a little, whereas we're a little more used to having gone through it just last week.
Okay, all right, let's pull the keys of the game back up. We got to fix it. We got to add the fourth one. weather delay.
Weather. Well, at least we're at home. When you have a weather delay, it's best to be at home. You're in your confines.
Cats don't like
Everything
water.
sounds great.
Cats do not like water.
No, that's true. They don't like to take a bath. They don't like to get wet. Any of that. So, I guess we're going to get football here soon, guys.
Well, we will, but it's what time is it right now? It's 7:42. Is that what the clock says? Oh, we still got quite a bit of time, so we're going to take a little break. But don't go anywhere. We're going to stay on this channel. We may have some additional commercials and additional Fire Flame logos and things like that going on. But don't go anywhere. We will bring you the game as soon as the boys come out in the field. You're watching Cobra Football on the Cobra Sports Network.
At Capital Farm Credit, our cooperative returns are a symbol of our strong partnership with you.
So one of the unique things about Capital Farm Credit is the cooperative nature of it. And then when you get that patronage check once a year, we put that money right back into the land.
Together, we're better.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Commitment to community service. It's a mission the First State Bank employees have lived by for more than 60 years. By continuously volunteering, sponsoring school fundraisers, and engaging in community service projects, the First State Bank not only lives its mission, it lives up to its motto, friendliest bank anywhere. So call, stop in, or visit fsblouise.com today and get to know the friendly bankers who are making a positive impact in your community. Eat 'em up, snakes. The First State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Application of the rules are a result of
Welcome back, Cobra fans, as we sit here waiting for kickoff. Rob, I'm anxious to go.
I'm ready to go, Joe. I'm ready to get some football on. I'm ready to
We
put
ask
these
you as
Tigers in the litter box
fans to demonstrate
and
the
ready to
kind
get
of respect
the
that
season
officials
rolling.
would extend to any
I know one other person's ready to go. Old
position
Double
of
Nickel has
responsibility.
headed down. He's
This means that
vacated
you
the
as a fan
booth,
should not
down on the
criticize
track
the
now,
players
heading to the
on
locker room.
your
He's going to
team.
give us an inside report on what
Should
the
not
team is doing.
boo
Because you know they
your
got to
team.
be ready to go too. That locker room's got to start
Alcoholic
feeling pretty
beverages
small
or
at this point.
drugs
As you got that
of any
adrenaline flow in their
kind,
hands and they're ready to go.
e-cigarettes
Homecoming night,
on public
big
school
night.
grounds, since it is a violation of state law. You should be courteous to the
Yeah, there's Double Nickel right there, letting us know that there's only 2 players out. Everybody else in the locker room.
Everyone else in the locker room.
No.
Hey, while we have a minute, let's talk a little bit of Thursday night sports. We had some good games around the area. 7th grade football. 7th grade won their 2nd game in a row. They are 2-0 undefeated as they took last night 26-8, and it was a good night for the Rattlers. I'm sorry. Naren, quarterback, had a big night.
Naren, Dyson Sykes, Gavin Stewart, Aiden Ortiz all scored touchdowns last night.
Yeah, and Aiden Ortiz was just a beast on the defensive side as he accumulated a number of tackles for loss, and I think fumble recovery too, if I remember correctly.
Yes. I mean, a good night for 7th grade football. After the 7th grade game was over, then the 8th grade football game started, and the defense was basically the theme of that game. The 8th grade defense basically just shut Tidehaven down. They won the game 14-0. You had Ryan Woods who stepped up and made some big tackles and sacks, also caused a fumble. Michael Bargenbrook, Zach Kurtz, Flores, all storming to the ball, and Tidehaven really had no answer for the Rattler 8th grade defense. Offensively, Kurtz had some really big runs and scored touchdowns on, hard running by Tyler Barnett, Michael Bargenbrook, and then also Dornick all ran the ball really hard. Another thing about the 7th grade team, Cohen Love got another interception. So I think that's 1 per game for him. So those boys down there really stepping up and playing good football.
No, that's Danny. Yeah, you're right. And if I remember correctly, when I was listening back on it, I heard Wyatt Kurtz scored for the first play from scrimmage.
First play from scrimmage, I can't remember now, maybe 60 yards.
Nice. Yeah. Now, great running backs in that sub-varsity level of games. Because JV didn't get a chance to play last week last night. They went to Columbus. But they weren't able to play. Game was canceled due to weather.
Got them.
But there's another great running back on that team.
Caden averaging 150 yards a game.
Yeah, well over 100. Yeah, so I was joking with Caden. This morning at the pep rally, and I told him, I said, "Hey man, your streak's gone." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Your 100 game streak, dude, it's over." Well, I didn't even play yesterday. I said, "Well, that means it's over."
We found out the only person that stopped it was Mother Nature.
That's it, man. That's it. That's the only thing. No, but those guys are doing a great job down over there on the JV side of things. So good, promising athletes coming up. Freshman side, they got a chance to go play Tidehaven JV, and I'm gonna tell you what. That Tidehaven JV team, they played another team that was a lot bigger than our freshman boys. And not only bigger in size, bigger as far as numbers as well too. They had more than enough for 2 teams out there, and our boys are just kind of limping along with 6 linemen on our roster on that freshman group. But the freshmen came out. They spotted the Tigers 21 points, but decided to go ahead and start coming back, and they did. They had a completely different game there towards the end. Great running by Elijah Taylor, Brian Bethany, just man-child, just blowing up stuff, coming out and just blocking people, opening up holes. It's pretty amazing to see with some of the stuff that those young guys are doing. Also on the line, Jace Kretzer doing a fantastic job as far as snapping the ball. It's pretty incredible to see shotgun snaps being consistent like that at that level, and Jason has done a really good job. Jace did get injured in that game. We saw him kind of limping around here tonight, so I'm hoping that that young man is not too serious. Hopefully he gets back out there on the field. I know the boys are missing him. But scoring last night was Mason Hunt. Easton and Mason ran that option just amazing. Mason Hunt was able to score a touchdown, kicked a field goal. By the way, freshmen are kicking field goals, so we're kicking field goals at all levels, freshman, JV, and varsity. So that's pretty promising. Cade Naren, caught the tying touchdown pass on a fade route, and Kay came up to me after the game. He said, "Hey, that was my first touchdown. I hope you got it on camera."
Yeah, it's maxed out.
So congratulations to him. But that was all right there towards the end of the game. Cobras tie it up. They go up. They miss the extra point. So it's tied up as 21-21 with 15 seconds left in the game. Cobras do an onside kick. We don't recover. Matter of fact, the Tigers return it about 15 yards or so.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and so they're set up around the 30-yard line, the Cobras 30-yard line. And then they run a play where the slot receiver goes on that wheel route all the way down to the seam, wide open all by himself, and we just realized, oh, we just lost a football game. And out of nowhere, Easton LaRue comes up, tips the ball, and intercepts it. He was completely on the other side of the hashes, and Easton made it all the way down. The ball floated up a little bit too high. He intercepted it. And so we get the ball back. Remember, we started that 15 seconds. It was a kickoff involved in that with a return, right? When we get the ball, we had 5.9 seconds left in the game. So that's that hometown clock working.
Yeah. That's a lot of football that will only take 8-9 seconds.
But the Cobras didn't quit. They tried their hardest. Easton ends up going on a sweep route up the inside. Just breaks a few tackles, spins around, but just ultimately one got beat. He got brought down. They ended up tying it 21-21. So yeah. But that's it for the.
They kissed the system.
Yeah, that's it for the football side of things. On our end, but on the youth side, where are the youth playing at?
They're in El Campo this week. First game starts at 5 o'clock, followed by and it's your teammate, followed by your juniors at 6 o'clock, and band at about 7:15 on Monday. So all three teams will be in El Campo playing this week away, and hopefully keep the good times going on all three levels. Just got an update there from Wade, guys. They're going to do homecoming in the gym at 8:15.
In the gym.
Well, and we know our 3 senior homecoming court members are all football players this year, so that means kickoff will not be happening until at least after 8:15, I would think.
That's going to be rough, guys. It's going to be real rough. Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
We'll do our best. I don't see any way that we can bring that to you. We're just going to have to let you know who won. Unfortunately, we can't get cameras over there. Maybe we record it and show it later. We can airdrop it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, we'll send somebody over there. We'll make it recorded, and we will add that to our YouTube page so that if you can't be in the gym, you can watch it tomorrow or anytime in the future on the Cobras Sports Network. Just won't be able to bring it to you live right now.
Unfortunately, Mother Nature did stop us.
Sure
But
did.
we did need the rain, guys. We did need the rain.
Yeah.
So hopefully some folks got the rain. But with that, I guess we'll go
Well,
ahead
I mean, you can see how that field greened up immediately.
Oh, man, it's amazing. It's
Cobra
amazing.
field is looking.
Even the room has gotten darker from the rain.
Guys, one thing we didn't talk about too was on the show, the snake pit games that we had on Wednesday night. The homecoming court. They came out and they were great sports. They did a heck of a job coming out and competing in the snake pit games. If you haven't had a chance to go check that out, make sure you check out this week's weekly sports, Cobra Sports weekly update, and go. It's chaptered. If you go to the YouTube page, open that up, hit the description, go to the bottom of the last chapter. It says snake pit games. Click that. It'll take you right to it. It's 19 minutes. Absolute fun.
And the game hasn't started, so can people still vote?
Well, I said 7:30 at kickoff, so essentially you're right. People can still vote, so you can get in there and vote. The winner, the top girl and top boy, they're vying for this $50 gift card that we're sitting up here.
Not only that, they will be crowned. The winner of our old school beauty pageant, they'll be crowned Miss Cobra Sport Network, and of course, little Mr. CSN. So, they're going to get a sash, a crown, and a $50 gift card courtesy of the Bargenbrook family. I mean, you can't beat us.
That might be better than being homecoming king or queen.
Oh, I think so. The title Little Mr. CSN is renowned
I
worldwide.
bet it is. I bet it is.
Yeah, that's what you put on your resume 20 years ago.
Yeah, I was Little Mr. CSN.
Absolutely.
Are you
that
Little
kind
Mr.
of title,
CSN?
that kind of title carries weight that most people instantly recognize.
Were you homecoming king or were you Mr. Little CSN?
I was not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are still in a weather delay. And the plan is for homecoming festivities, for the announcement of the court
Well, let's take a quick
and
break,
homecoming
and
king
we
and
will
queen
come back
and
when we got a
grand
plan
duke and
developed here,
duchess.
to let you
That
guys
will be
know what
in
we're
the
gonna do for first
gym
homecoming and kickoff. You're watching Cobra football and Cobras
at
Sports Network.
8. Safe travels tonight. Please make sure you throw your trash away. Leave your area cleaner than you found it.
Well, Cobra
Have a
fans,
wonderful night.
we appreciate all the
Cobra
faithful that have stayed and watched, but they have made the call. The game is canceled. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this right here. Game is canceled. I do not know if they're going to make it up. Probably not, because don't have bye weeks, and there's no, they haven't said anything about trying to do it tomorrow. So yeah, I'm assuming it's not a district game, so game will be canceled. Sorry, folks. We appreciate y'all. Look for us on Wednesday night when we bring you a recap on Cobra Sports and everything else that happened. We appreciate you guys. Thanks. Hey, how you spell canceled?
CANCELLED.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an announcement for the 50-50 drawing. For those who bought a 50-50 ticket, we'll have a raffle here in a couple of minutes. For the tickets, the red card and the blue card. Just hold tight. If you want your money.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Really?
Yep. Who canceled
You're
it?
kidding
What
me.
happened?
Why didn't Aaron say no?
There was just a bad. But I mean, that shit's
filling in the door. It might be flipping us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Smith and get some beer.
You can do that. No, I got it.